Yo, people, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. I'm sure anyone who's played games for long enough has at least heard of the game Roblox, where people can make almost any game they can imagine, and others can play those games. In this video, we're going to be discussing a game that impacted both the Roblox game landscape as well as me as a person, and introducing a whole new genre of difficulty games to the platform, and honestly probably starting my path of enjoying these kind of more difficult games. I'm of course talking about Rogue Lineage. 2019 was, all things considered, a great year. A calm before a giant shit show hurricane, I suppose. I was 14 at the time and certainly enjoyed gaming, but I wouldn't say it had a complete stranglehold over my silly little life like it does now. I'd played a good bit of Roblox in the years before, as I think a lot of kids have in this generation, on a game called Pokemon Brick Bronze. Rest in peace. I miss you every day. Fuck you, Nintendo. Give it back. But since 2018, when it got deleted, wasn't really playing a lot of Roblox, but then it opened up for purchase. Rogue Lineage. I had heard of and tried the game that the developers of Rogue Lineage, Archmage and Raguzer, had made before, that was named Tales of the Valley, but it was too confusing for my little stupid smooth child brain, and didn't have any friends that were really interested in the game, so I didn't play it. I tried it out for like an hour, but But once I heard the hype of this new game they were making, decided, fuck it, let me borrow my mom's credit card really quick and try out Rogue Lineage. I'd be lying if I said I enjoyed the game right away, but because, I'll be honest, I sucked at it. Rogue is a level of difficulty that I was not used to at the time. Well, before we continue my story, let's give a little bit of an explanation for Rogue. When you first join the game, your character will be given one of the 14 races available at spawn, which have special abilities depending on which one you get. But the thing that is most important at the starting point is the life system. When you spawn in, you start with either 3 or 4 lives if you're one of the special races, Casparian. When you die to anything, you lose a life. Once you hit 0, your character is wiped, resetting all the progress you've made, only keeping your same race for the next character. Now, for the progress of the game, you need to go across the map and get the requirements for whichever class you really want to make. Those requirements is where the game gets its difficulty. As you explore the map, there will be certain spots where things known as trinkets, such as goblets, amulets, or rings, spawn, which you can then sell to a merchant NPC for silver. And you need an absolute fucking abhorrent amount of silver to unlock the max class, as each trinket only sells for 3 to 6 silver, and you'll need around 3,000 silver to fully complete your class. And I'd honestly say that's kind of the easiest requirement. It's not too difficult to get to that silver, it just takes some time. For most classes, you also need what is known as weapon EXP, which you can get for dagger, sword, spear, or fist, depending on which class you want to go. And to get this EXP, you need to hit either other players, or what most people do is hit an NPC known as Z-Screams. If you know what you're doing, this can take you, I'd say, up to 20 minutes to get all EXP at base, and can take quite a while if you don't know what you're doing. But the real problem is, since Z-Screams is such a popular place, you're at a high risk of getting jumped by other players, which leads us to the next requirement. Almost all of the classes either require chaotic or orderly to obtain. It's kind of the reputation system in this game. Chaotic is obtained through killing other players, and you can get extra through killing orderly players, through what's known as an assassination. Orderly is a bit easier being obtained, mainly through quests in the game, or you can also get some more by killing chaotic players by knocking them and bringing them to a jailer NPC to be jailed. Unfortunately, it's not a very light amount for either, for any of the max classes. For example, for most chaotic classes, you need 30 kills worth of chaotic, and for some, you even need double that. So yeah, it's not very fun. That's most of the requirements, which might not sound horribly difficult one at a time, but they are time consuming. And remember, you only have 3 lives to get all of your requirements done. And there are a lot of max classes this day and age running around who will kill a progging character, and you have no chance at fighting them, and you got to consider the other progging players trying to kill you for your progression. It's difficult, man. Now, returning back to my story, back in the day, there was an added difficulty to the game, the difficulty of information. See, unlike today, there wasn't always a wiki or Discord server that could give you all the information you needed. You really needed connections to get your classes, especially back then, because if someone leaked something about the classes to the general public, the devs would actually change the locations and the requirements for that class. It was crazy. They really liked the mystery part of the game, so they kept that going for a while. Unfortunately, when I started the game, I didn't have any friends or connections at the time, so instead I was just stuck watching the cool videos made on the classes fighting, wishing I could be part of them, and the real videos that stuck out to me were from a creator that's pretty well known in Roblox community now, named Infernasu. So I kind of kept the game in my field of view, but didn't really play. That was until fucking Corona hit. Now, obviously, Corona, quite cringe for most things anyway. But it was quite sick for gaming because a lot of kids had a lot more time now. This is when my friends really started playing the game and were able to join other groups so that they can kind of start getting their ultras and make it easier on them. You know, the smart and easy route. Unfortunately, at this time, there were videos coming out by a creator known as Reevolu making iron lineages. Seriously, check those videos out. They were crazy good for the time. Dude is one of the only 2 non-dev players, I think, that have gone a race called Seraph because of just how good those videos were. Really check them out. But yeah, so I was addicted to solo progging now. This meant that during the about 1 year time period that I played the game kind of regularly, from 2020 to 2021, I was only ever good enough to solo prog 2 max classes, which is really sad looking at now and really embarrassing. But hey, that's just how difficult the game was and still kind of is. That's my story with the game anyway, but that's not its only impact, obviously. See, Rogue was so popular with its game design that it's created a lot of similar games on the platform that use a very similar life and class system. One example that I like using is a game called The Vast Realm, and I use that example because I played a shit ton on it, and I was a lot better than Rogue. It helps my fucking ego. Now, this crazy popularity of having a lot of games spring up and this game design just really working and probably getting the devs a lot of money allowed the devs to create an even crazier Roblox game that probably also have heard of if you watch any videos here on the channel or know of Roblox, and that's Deepwoken. Which, while similar to Rogue in the sense of difficulty, I believe it is a certain major improvement over Rogue. Definitely in terms of game design, especially in Deepwoken, if you're skilled, you can honestly maybe take out like a very high level player to maybe even max out players. Rogue, you can't do that, dude. You're getting one shot. Deepwoken, I think, has a lot more. You're able to press your skill a lot more than in Rogue. But hey, that's kind of the whole, I think, development on Rogue. And this isn't a Deepwoken video. If you want to hear about my story in Deepwoken, I don't really have a video explaining Deepwoken itself because I'm not good at making a video as you can about games, as you can probably tell from this one. Not yet, anyway. But I do have a video about my story with Deepwoken, including becoming mod at a point. So if you want to check that out, it is here on the channel. Easiest plug of my fucking life. But anyways, that's all I got for you. I'm sorry if this video kind of feels a little all over the place, not very organized. I wanted to make a video explaining Rogue before I started just doing base videos on it, just doing like random videos on it, but I couldn't figure out how exactly I wanted to put it together, so I just said fuck it and rolled some ideas into one and I'm running with it. So I should be uploading some Rogue videos, progging, ganking, or PS server fighting videos. I'm not completely sure yet because, as you can probably tell, I'm inconsistent and usually make promises that I don't keep. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. See why? Fucking @ sign.